Each and every relationship goes through their ups and their downs. The best way to maintain the relationship bond is to make sure that there is not only a deep love involved between the two of you, but also a very strong connection with each other. That connection in itself may be tough to keep together based on all the issues that you must deal with throughout the entirety of the relationship. However, it's very possible if you both continue to work together. The Relationship Therapy Podcast will reveal some tools needed to ensure a great connection in your relationship.
Everyone, listen up because it's time for the Relationship Therapy Podcast with your host, Tony Miller Sr., and co host, Valerie Miller. They are going to do their best to take your relationship to the next level. Whether you are married or whether you are dating, Tony and Valerie are going to give you the hard facts and solid principles you need to strengthen your relationship. Now, here are your hosts, Tony and Valerie.
Hello, everybody. This is your host, Tony Miller Sr., and welcome to another episode of the Relationship Therapy Podcast. My co-host, Valerie, won't be in this episode. She's out of town, but she will be back with us on future episodes. But today, I want to talk about something fundamental to all of our lives, and that is connecting in our relationships, whether it's a family relationship or our friendships or professional networks, and of course, romantic relationships. Having a strong connection is at the heart of what makes relationships meaningful. In a world that seems more connected than ever through technology, there are still many of us who are lonely or disconnected in our relationships. How do we foster a deep, authentic connection that stands the test of anything that this relationship could face? So, in this episode, we are going to talk about connections that make the relationship better. Let's go. The first tool that I want to reveal in order to have a stronger connection in our relationship is this: investing your time and your effort. All of us need to take some time to invest into the one we say we love. Every relationship requires an investment of time and energy. We can't expect a meaningful relationship if we're unwilling to put in the work. And that work will require you to be thinking more of your loved one than you're thinking of yourself. You must start by constantly doing it, but not only being constant, you have to be consistent. Consistency builds trust. Relationships thrive when there's regular, consistent communication and interaction. Sporadic efforts lead to weaker bonds, while consistent presence fosters trust in that relationship, a trust that you're going to need to make your connection even stronger. It's like when you have a garden and you need to have your garden watered. It needs to have sunlight. It needs to be in the right type of soil so it can grow. Just like relationships need regular attention, the garden needs regular attention also. So if you neglect to give your relationship the nurturing that it needs, and you're not investing your time and you're not investing your energy, you know that relationship will start withering away, just like a garden that has never had the attention that it needed. So we have to invest our time. And when we invest our time, it must be quality time over the quantity. What I mean by that is the time that you and your mate spend together it must be of great quality. Sometime it could be 30 minutes, sometime it could be 2 hours, but it needs to have some quality there. In some cases, it could just be great 15 minutes of fellowship with your mate. And then other times it could be just a whole weekend away. So always look for quality over quantity. It's not about the amount of time you spend with someone, but how intentional you are during that time. That's why we always are talking about unplugging, getting rid of the cell phones, getting rid of the screens, and just spending that time. Be fully present with your loved one and be engaged in a meaningful conversation. Thinking of you as two friends who are having dinner together. One is constantly checking their phone. It sends a bad signal to the other person that this interaction is not as important as it seems. So it's not about the quantity of time, but it's about investing that time and putting forth the energy that your mate needs in order to feel more connected than they did before. I guarantee you, once you start doing that, your connections will strengthen and your relationship will be better. The second tool that I want to reveal to you is you must practice empathy and understanding. Real connection, real connection between you and your significant other happens because of you two. No outside entities, no outside voices can do the relationship any good if you two are not putting forth the effort. Practice empathy. Empathy is nothing more than just trying to understand what someone else is feeling. And even if that's not your same experience, it's about seeing the world through their eyes, not just your own. True connection requires us to understand and empathize with the other person's experiences, their emotions, and their perspectives. You have to put yourself in their shoes. Imagine someone telling you they're struggling with a situation that you fully don't understand, like a specific work stress or personal challenge. And then instead of dismissing their feelings or offering quick advice, take the time to empathize and acknowledge what they're going through. That's what needs to happen in your relationship with your loved one. Empathize. Look at what they're saying. Try to find yourself in it in a way that you can connect with them. That gives them the thought that you value what they're going through. You value what they're experiencing, and that their experience is valid and it's important to you. And you must be patient with the differences that you two have. Yes, you're going to have differences. You're male, you're female, you come from different backgrounds. And when two people come from different backgrounds, they're going to see things from possibly a total different perspective. No two people are exactly alike. Understanding that others see the world differently and they have different perspectives will help you emotionally give that person, your loved one, your significant other, your mate, exactly what they need. Different emotional needs is key to maintaining a strong relationship, and understanding those needs and practicing empathy will only do its part towards strengthening it even better. You ever watched a puzzle when it's finished? But think about what it looked like before. It was scattered. It was all pieces, and these pieces were unique. But when these pieces were put together, they create a complete picture. In our relationships, it's the differences that make the connection rich and meaningful. And as long as we're willing to embrace and understand them and helping each other through those times, that's when an everlasting connection comes. And our relationships really need to have those strong connections. Here's the third tool that I want to reveal in order for us to have a strong connection to make our relationship better. And that is resolve conflicts in a healthy way. I think that bears repeating. Resolve conflicts in a healthy way. Conflicts have been the root of a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces, a lot of relationships being torn apart. But in any relationship, conflict is inevitable. But how we handle the conflict determines whether the relationship grows stronger or it fizzles out and gets weaker. We have to address conflicts directly, but we must address it with love. That's part of how we resolve these conflicts in a healthy way. Too often, when conflicts occur in relationships, we want to yell it out and scream it out instead of loving it out. That is the healthy way to do it. Now, there's going to be some conversations. There's going to be some times when voices may raise, but if we can find a way to keep love at the forefront of those conversations, because you're the one that said you love that person, and you're the one that wants that person to love you. So I believe when we can take that attitude with conflict, we can learn how to resolve these conflicts in a healthy way to keep our marriage or relationship intact and stay connected in the process. When we avoid conflict, all it does is lead to resentment, while addressing it too aggressively can harm the relationship. See, the key is to approach it with the intent to understand and resolve and not to win. I've said it before in other episodes. If I win the battle of the conflict, that means my mate loses. And if your mate wins, that means you lose. We need to find a situation where it's win-win. If there is never a time when we're looking for a win-win situation, then somebody's going to lose and feelings are going to get hurt, and somebody is going to win and feelings will still be hurt. And that means there's damage been placed on the relationship. We must get to the level of where we start forgiving one another. You got to understand that we're not perfect, and forgiveness is crucial toward resolving conflicts in a healthy way. No one is perfect, and people will hurt each other. People who love each other will hurt each other, sometimes intentionally, but oftentimes in relationships unintentionally. Learning to forgive and let go of past hurts, past pains, and not sitting there holding those pains hostage or waving those pains at your mate. We have to let them go. And it has to be something essential for maintaining that strong connection that makes our relationship better. See, carrying out a grudge is like carrying a heavy backpack. Over time, it weighs you down and keeps you from moving forward freely. And if you're climbing, like relationships should be climbing and not descending, when there is unforgiveness holding you down, it keeps the relationship from climbing the way it is. So forgiveness is about setting down that burden so both of you can get together, talk, connect again, and have that relationship strengthened so that you both can move forward. You'll thank me for that information. And here is the final tool that I want to reveal for this episode so that your relationship can have a stronger connection and make that relationship better. Here's the final tool. You must celebrate each other's successes. You cannot be in a healthy relationship and a connected relationship if you're not celebrating what your mate has achieved. Healthy relationships thrive when we celebrate and uplift each other. True connection means being genuinely happy for the other person's achievements, no matter how big or how small those achievements may be. When you are not excited about something that your mate has achieved, has gained, whether it's a promotion or a brand new job or starting their own business or whatever it is, they've made it to their weight loss goal. You should be the first one to help them celebrate because as a husband, as a wife, as the one in the relationship with them, you should be the first source of encouragement for them. When you celebrate each other's successes, they know that you are right there when they need you. People need to know that those that they care the most about should be the ones that support them the most and believe in them the most. Celebrate their wins, even when you're going through tough times yourself. Let me say that again. You're going to have to celebrate their victories, their accomplishments, their wins, even when you may be going through your own personal storm. What that tells your mate is, I cherish what you've accomplished. Even though I'm struggling right now, it still brings joy to me to encourage you after what you've done. So you think about a cheering section at a sporting event. The players perform better when they know people are rooting for them. That's why home teams thrive on being the home team because they can perform better in front of their home crowd because they know that they've got people, parents and friends and loved ones cheering for them. So if it works for a sporting event, how much better would it work for your personal relationship with your significant other? People perform better in life when we know that the people we care about are in our corner. And here's another thing, and I did a complete 3 or 4 episode series on it. We must avoid comparison. Comparison breeds jealousy and disconnection. And why would you compare yourself to your significant other? Instead of focusing on your unique journey and celebrate the successes of others, you're sitting there diminishing what they've done because you sat there and compared what they achieved to what you achieved. Celebrate your mate. That's the one that you love. Give them your love. Give them your encouragement, and that will be beneficial because I believe that it will be replicated because once you achieve something, they're going to be your biggest cheerleaders. Become your mate's biggest cheerleader. Celebrate each other's successes. When two friends are climbing separate mountains, the view at the top is different for both, but it doesn't mean one is better than the other. Each journey is unique, and celebrating each other's successes helps build confidence in the relationship. It helps build trust, and it gives that person just a little bit added boost, knowing that the mate that they chose, the one that they said yes to, or the one that they asked them to be a part of their life with, has said, I am encouraging you. I'm celebrating you. It does nothing but help the connection between the two of you, and it strengthens your relationship, and it can't help but make that relationship better. You should care enough about your significant other to celebrate each achievement in their life. Don't be selfish. Celebrate your mate. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. But let us conclude with this. In order to build strong and meaningful relationships, we must focus on investing our time and our energy. We must practice empathy and understanding. We have to resolve our conflicts in a healthy way, and we must celebrate each other's successes. Connection isn't something that just happens. It's something we actively cultivate, something we work hard at. The relationships that we nurture become a source of strength, joy, and support in our lives. Let's commit to deepening our connections with the one that we love, being present when it's time to be present, embracing the power of having authentic relationships with them. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We know that we've given you some information, and if it's been a blessing to you, why don't you hit us back up? Send us an email telling us how you enjoyed it, what it did for you, and even if you've got other episodes that you would like for us to explore, why don't you hit us up? Our announcer will be giving you our email address. Email us, and so that we can know that you are getting this information and even other information that you want us to put out. Well, that's all I got for you today. But as always, in closing, it takes two to make a relationship work.
Thank you for listening to the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony and Valerie Miller. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Tune in next time for more insight on how to make your relationship better. If you have any questions, please email us at tmrelationshiptherapy@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, it takes two to make a relationship work.